Today we're going to talk about the objective summary. But before we talk about what objective summary is, we need to talk about what the word objective actually means. Take a look at this picture here. It says objective reality. Here we have a tree. There's no denying that this is a tree. It is what it is. It's an objective reality. Objective has to deal with facts and what's real. Objective doesn't have anything to do with human beings and how they feel. It is what it is when it comes to what's objective. Over here, what you have are people that are being subjective. They're putting their own influence, interpretations into what they're seeing in this tree. But the tree is the tree, regardless of what these human beings feel about it. That word again is objective. Say it to yourself, objective. Very good. So objective, the dictionary definition means dealing with facts, not influenced by personal feelings. Say that to yourself, please. Dealing with facts, not influenced by personal feelings. Very good. It is a descriptive word, therefore it is an adjective. Remember that adjectives modify or describe nouns. So we're talking about objective summary. What is an objective summary? It's a summary of facts, not personal feelings. When you're writing an objective summary, you're not giving your opinion, you're not making an argument, you're simply stating the facts. You're saying, this is what happened, this is it, this is the reality. Just the facts. So I'm going to teach you a strategy of how to write an objective summary called IVF. And you can see IVF right here, how to write an objective summary using IVF. This is a strategy that you can use for both fiction and nonfiction. So what is a summary? A summary is a shortened version of the main points of a text. Think about the video you saw with the metaphor of the map. If somebody says, give me a map to your house, you're not going to tell them, let's see, there's a McDonald's here. Right next to the McDonald's, there's a Domino's. Right on the corner of Domino's, there's a nail salon. Then there's a Starbucks. You're not going to give them every single detail. You're not going to say, my neighbor, John, he lives in the corner. And over here, there's Paola, she lives on the other side of the street. You're not going to give them all that. You're basically going to give them the main streets. You might say, hey, there's a McDonald's on the corner, but you're not going to explain every single business there is. You're going to give just the facts and also the main facts. Summaries can be written for both fiction and nonfiction pieces. Informational text. Is informational text fiction or nonfiction? That's right. Informational text is nonfiction. Nonfiction. Remember, nonfiction are things that are real, based on real life stories, things that are not fake or made up. Fiction would be real. Fiction would be not real. So something like The Lion King or X-Men would fall under fiction, whereas a documentary or even the story of Elijah McClain would fall under nonfiction. And summaries will start with what we call an IVF topic sentence. So we're going to talk about how to start our summaries, and then we'll talk later about how to expand them. But for now, let's learn what IVF is all about. IVF stands for Identify, Verb, Finish. Say that to yourself, please. Identify, verb, finish. Identify. Identify either the selection, the section, the chapter, the title, and the author. If there is no title and author, you will identify, for example, you will say in the paragraph, or in the film, in the documentary, whatever it happens to be. If there is a title and author, then say the title and author. In the story Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, and then continue on. Then identify a verb. The verb could be describes, it could be explains. Pick whichever one you want to use. Describes and explains are perfect verbs to use, and we will focus on using those two specific verbs. And then finish the thought. Tell what the selection was mainly about. This is where you talk about the central idea. Put the central idea right here. So once you have that central idea, put it right here. Okay? Aquí es donde ponen la idea central. This is where you put your central idea. So identify what you're talking about, give it a verb, and then finish it. IVF. Step 1, identify the item that you're summarizing. So primero van a identificar lo que van a ser el resumen. State what form of the literature the reading is. So you could say something like the short story, the article, the paragraph, the passage, the name of the reading, and the author. If there is no author or there is no title, you can just say the paragraph. Step 2. Use an active verb to help you organize. You can say, the paragraph tells. The article about Elijah McClain gives. You can say, the chapter in my science book describes. You can say, the interview showcases. So once you identify, you're then going to add a verb. That is step 2. So en step 2, van a usar o poner un verbo. Y aquí hay unos verbos. Toma un momento ustedes para traducir y identificar lo que significan estos verbos. What I said in Spanish was for students to identify, for them to translate what these verbs mean. And finally, finish your thought. Answer what the article or story is about in a general phrase. Give the central idea. State the main point. The central idea of the article or story. This is where you want to introduce the central idea. And I'm just going to add that there since I've said it like over and over and over again. Make sure you add, of course, what? The central idea. So finish off with the central idea. Okay? Answer what the article or story is about in a general phrase, no specifics. State the main point. Don't give away the ending of the article or story. So you're just giving the main idea, the central idea, once you finish it. Once we continue on with summaries, objective summaries, you will definitely be adding more. But for now, let's just start it. So let's look at some examples here. Here's one. The story Rikki Tikki Tavi by Rudyard Kipling tells how a young mongoose protects his family and friends from 2 deadly cobras. Identify the item. The story, Rikki Tikki Tavi by Rudyard Kipling. What is the verb? Tells. Finish your thought. How a young mongoose protects his family and friends from 2 deadly cobras. Okay? So we have one strong topic sentence using the IVF strategy. Identifying the item, picking a verb, and then finishing the thought. Here's another example. There was no title or author, so they just used chapter 5. Chapter 5 in my science book explains how a simple telegraph works. Chapter 5 being the identify, explains being our verb, finish your thought, how a simple telegraph works. And finally, our last example, the poem Paul Revere's Ride by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow describes Paul Revere's ride to warn the colonists about the British. So right here we have the word describes as our verb, and then of course Paul Revere's ride to warn the colonists about the British. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our lesson today on how to write an IVF topic sentence. In the next part of this series, we will practice breaking down topic sentences, and of course, you will be writing your own. Thank you.